I have to create an English lesson from only one word. And if that weren't difficult enough, that word is chosen randomly by this wheel. And I'm also going to add some extra rules. So the first rule must be a video lesson. Rule number 2, it has to be understandable for B2 learners. So that's upper intermediate. And rule number 3, the video has to have over 1 million views. Here's a spinner. Okay, it's full of random adjectives. So we're going to use an adjective. Let's go. Large. Okay, easy enough. Let's go to YouTube. In fact, I'm also going to go to Youglish. If you don't know this, it is a website where you can use it to hear words pronounced well. What it does, it finds videos that contain subtitles. So looking for a B2 video, needs subtitles. On either side of the garlands are large. Is this like an art program? Okay, I'm sorry, this might be a bit too boring. Okay, I give up. Let's go to find another adjective. Wet, okay, let's try, wet. It's a lot of music here. Let's try Youglish again. By the way, Youglish, you can also, supposedly you can choose the accent. So you can choose US, UK, Australia. It doesn't always work perfectly well, but in principle, the ability is there. Let's go back. Let's find another adjective. I think these adjectives are too general, so we need to find a more specific one. Wide-eyed, okay, wide-eyed. We use it to describe innocence. So somebody's a wide-eyed person, that kind of, maybe a wide-eyed youth, a wide-eyed kid, they're quite innocent. You don't know a lot about the world. Okay, this could be good. So let's try the movie. Eyes wide shut. Please tell me there are subtitles. Okay, Spanish auto-generated subtitles, not what we wanted. Again, I'm being strict. This is for B2 learners, and for C1 learners, I would do this with no subtitles, no problem. My explanations hopefully are enough, but most learners need subtitles. My God, this is getting really difficult. I give up. Let's go to another adjective. Third time lucky. Skinny. Probably know skinny jeans, so very tight. And skinny is a person, somebody who's very, very thin. Tell you what, let's try something like this, okay? We're going to look for a vlog. This could be the perfect content. Skinny vlog. I'm tempted. It's a little long, but it's a little bit too, how do I say this? It's a little bit too much masculine energy. Why are Koreans so slim? 1.8 million views, okay. Let's have a look at this.
Today we're going to be talking about why Koreans stay so thin.
She sounds, so far, first sentence, she sounds English. We've got subtitles perfect, and they're already in the video. Okay, let's do that. It's on topic, skinny, thin, English subtitles. Let's do this.
Today we're going to be talking about why Koreans stay so thin. So if you don't like these kind of topics about weight and bodies, please click out right now. Hi guys, my name is Anna, and I've been kind of wanting to do this video for a while because I show you like Korean food, the stuff that I eat around Seoul and stuff, and people ask me,
a lot of the meat that you eat seems really fatty, and you guys eat a lot of rice. How do you stay thin?
I get asked these kind of questions. So today I'm going to talk about, from a Korean's perspective, why I think Koreans stay slim compared to other countries in the world. Just for anyone who doesn't know my background.
So slim, you probably know this already, but slim, thin are synonyms. Skinny is starting to be more judgmental. It's starting to say, you're too thin, you're too thin.
Koreans stay slim compared to other countries in the world. Just for anyone who doesn't know my background, I'm Korean. I was born in Korea, but I went to study in the UK from about the age of 7.
There you go. There you go. That's why she's got an English accent, and it's a very good accent, and she speaks, from what I can see, almost like a native, basically like a native. And a very advanced expression she's using here, flying back and forth, flying from one area to the other, and doing this repeatedly. So going from Korea to the UK, Korea to the UK, back and forth.
And I basically grew up flying back and forth between UK and Korea, and so that was kind of my...
There was one small thing there that maybe told me, okay, maybe she's not native. She said flying back and forth between the UK. What we would say is the UK, or the UK, flying back and forth between the UK. The UK is a collection of entities, United Kingdom. So we put the article before these types of countries. So the United States, the Republic of Ireland, of China, it's no longer the Czech Republic, but Czechia, the Czech Republic, as we used to call it. Just take that article, the definite article, the.
Childhood and how I grew up, and I've traveled quite a bit in Europe, in America, and other parts of Asia, so I do have some sort of idea of how people eat. So yeah, let's talk about this. A study done in 2019 shows that out of 20 OECD countries, half of the adult population were overweight or obese in 17 of these countries, and for Mexico, Chile, and the United States, this proportion exceeded 70%. Meanwhile, in Japan and Korea, fewer than 35% of adults were overweight or obese. I know a lot of you who watch my channel are interested in Korea due to K-pop and K-dramas and K-media, and
Love K-drama, love K-movies, K-pop, zero interest.
And you guys know most people in Korea are of a certain slim build. So let's talk about a typical Korean meal. It consists of a bowl of rice, usually around 200 grams of rice, and usually some sort of soup that has stock and vegetables.
Stock, really important word if you're doing any kind of cooking. Stock is, in Spanish is caldo, but it's the liquid that you use to cook other ingredients, and it's not just water, it contains other ingredients to give it a strong flavour, a strong taste. So stock can be chicken stock, vegetable stock, beef stock, anything, and it's like a base for sauces or to cook things with. What did she say? Because it's a bowl of rice.
200 grams of rice, and usually some sort of soup that has stock and vegetables.
Yeah.
Side dishes called panchan, and they're usually vegetable panchan dishes made of sprouts or radish or other things.
Dishes, this is how we use it. It's not plate. She's using plates, the physical object where you put the food, but the concept of this is a dish. So Spain, for example, a typical dish from Spain is paella. That is a dish. Okay, so it's the name of the recognizable food of the place, and she's talking about these different dishes on the table. Strangely, dish also means plate. It also means the receptacle, but we usually use it to talk about the concept of that type of food.
Panchan, and they're usually vegetable panchan dishes made of sprouts or radish or other things, and then usually some sort of meat dish for the protein. Not to say that all Koreans eat all three meals in this traditional Korean way, because nowadays we have food imported from all over the world, so there's a lot more Western food out there that people eat too. KFC, Burger King, chocolate, candy, all that stuff.
Basically all the crap, all the shit that we eat in the West. Yeah, very good.
Does exist, but I would just also say stuff like kimbap, like seaweed roll with vegetables and some sort of proteins inside. Eating that on the go really quick is still somewhat
on the go. As you said, very quick. So you're moving, you're traveling, and you eat something quickly. Often you're standing or you're walking, but you eat it when you're on the go. There's a sense of movement. You're moving.
Healthier than eating a burger with chips, because it's all fried, greasy, trans fats heavy food. I also noticed on my travels, whenever I went to America, I just get so shocked at the portion sizes that they give out. And I used to live in London, and London is not one of the thinnest places in the world either. But even coming from London to America, it was a shock to me at the different portion sizes. Definitely. The average meal at a restaurant in Korea is simply less calories than a meal in America would be.
She said less calories. This is actually something that native speakers do all the time. Technically, less is the wrong word when we combine it with a countable noun. So calories are countable, so we should say fewer, but it's such a common thing for native speakers to use less instead of fewer that it's quite native what she's doing. Less calories, maybe 90% of people will say this. I'm an English teacher. I have to say fewer calories.
My dad, for example, he prefers eating just traditional Korean food. He doesn't really like cheese, fried stuff. He likes just simple rice with meat and some sort of other vegetable. We also eat quite a bit of seafood, like raw fish, sashimi. And also many people just don't eat 3 meals a day. I don't eat 3 meals a day. A lot of my
raw fish, raw, not cooked.
Family doesn't eat 3 meals a day. And I would just say on the whole, we just eat more whole foods.
On the whole, in general, we just eat more whole foods. Whole foods is unprocessed, original, it's close to the original ingredient without lots of elaborate processes or chemical or industrial processes.
compared to more processed, snacky junk food. Like for example, giving a Pop-Tart to your kid.
Yeah, junk food, this is the term we use in English to talk about any food, especially processed, industrialized or industrial food that's not good for you. So anything fast food, traditional Western fast food like McDonald's, Burger King, KFC, this is junk food. It's not good for you. Junk is the same as similar to rubbish. It's junk, it's worthless, it's not worth anything. It has no value, it's junk.
As a breakfast option is simply not imaginable. Most Koreans would view that as like child abuse or like sugary cereals. They taste amazing, but it's just not nutritious and it should not be the first thing that you feed to your kid in the morning. Also, one thing that I don't really see many people mention is that the use of ovens in kitchens is much less used in Korean households than in other Western.
So wait a minute, what was she doing with what were they doing with the bread there? That just blew my mind. What's this?
Use of ovens in kitchens is much
Are they making toast?
less used in Korean households than in other Western countries. Most Korean recipes actually don't require the use of an oven.
I don't know what that was, but I'm intrigued. I don't know if I would try it. I don't have the necessity to make like 12 pieces of toast, but
We do everything on the electric or gas stove and everything is kind of pan fried or steamed. I see loads of people in America, they're always baking cupcakes, brownies, pizzas or like pasta bakes. But in Korea, we don't do much of that at all. So much less baking. That could be one of the reasons.
I think in Spain, if I had to compare Spain and in the UK, I think the UK, we use the oven more. I know we don't have much of a history or tradition or reputation for food or for good food, but we do use the oven a lot. In Spain, many houses I've been in, they don't have an integral oven. Often they have a little, it's like almost like a microwave. You buy this oven for the house. That's the kind of oven I've seen in a lot of houses. And yeah, people don't seem to use it as much. I know I may be wrong. You maybe correct me here, but just my general observation. Slightly less than in the UK where it's the main instrument for cooking often.
I'm going to show you some pictures of what a traditional school lunch would look like in Korea.
Looks
Just
amazing.
very typical Korean school lunches compared to,
fantastic.
let's say, American school lunches. I know there's like
Sad,
a lot of talk
isn't
and
it?
debate about American school lunches too, but
I mean, that's like often like British lunches. It's just sad. I don't know how we survived, really, how we're all alive after eating this way.
generally in Korea, like I said, we have less cheese, less fried. A lot of Asians are actually lactose intolerant. Not many of us can actually stomach dairy, all that.
To stomach, so using it as a verb. Just check the dictionary briefly. It means to tolerate. I can't tolerate it, but we're talking about physically in your stomach if you're eating. Although you can use it for anything that you don't like, so I can't stomach that. It's almost I have a physical rejection to this thing. To endure or tolerate. So she can't stomach violence. Koreans can't stomach lactose or dairy products. Dairy is anything that comes from milk. So milk, cheese, yogurt, they are dairy products.
That well. And for me, if I have rice, I'm lactose intolerant. Not many of us can actually stomach dairy all that well. And for me, if I have rice at home, I actually have a lot of brown rice, hungmipap also, which is like black rice. And those options are slightly more healthier and better for you.
More healthier, not grammatically correct. This is something a lot of natives do as well. So it's not, I mean, it's very common to speak like this, but I think it happens when we're speaking and we're not thinking critically or correcting ourselves. So she started with more. The comparative of healthy is healthier. It's not more healthy or more healthier. But what she's doing here is exactly like a native. Many natives make this mistake. So no criticism on her English, which is very good.
Than just plain white rice. Also, another thing that I think is a difference, when Korean people eat out together, we will just
Eat out is to go to a restaurant. It means to not eat in your house. You go to an establishment, probably a restaurant, to eat out.
share everything. Obviously, Korean barbecue, that's like a big thing in the middle. You just take bits of the meat and you share. But if I go with like two girlfriends, we usually will split, either get 2 or 3 dishes and we will split between the 3 of us. So we get a chance to have a taste of everything. I know this is much less common in the UK or the US.
Depends on the restaurant. They dictate, I think, the kind of dish that you have, because it's like a dish for one person, really, with a knife and a fork, and it's awkward to share. I mean, we do. If I eat with my girlfriend or if I eat with family or anyone else, I mean, we share.
Order what you want to eat and then you stick to your plate and everybody just eats off their plate. But in Korea, it's like, we want to taste the entire menu. So we will just put everything kind of in the middle and then you get a chance to taste everything. And I feel like in this way, you might end up consuming less.
There's a restaurant that became popular with Chinese people. And I think it was in a town in England, maybe on the seaside, maybe in Brighton or something. And as often what happens in Chinese online culture is if one place becomes popular, there's a big wave of popularity. So what happened is a lot of Chinese people would come to this restaurant and they would be accustomed to eating the Chinese way, which is to order a lot of dishes. They all arrive at the same time. So your starters, your main course, put them in the middle and everybody shares the meal. So this restaurant, basically they had so many Chinese customers that they started adapting the way that they serve the dish. It wasn't one plate for you, one plate for me. It was all the plates in the middle, served at the same time. And this was to accommodate the Chinese eating habit. So what she's describing sounds almost exactly like Chinese eating culture, where you share everything at the same time. Personally, I love it. I love that style of eating.
Well, or more depending. I feel like when you know how to share food from a young age, maybe that gets you to be less like greedy about your food. That could possibly have an impact. But basically, I think the portion sizes was one of the biggest things in terms of this subject. Overconsumption of anything is just not good, not healthy, and we should kind of take it upon ourselves to control that.
Take it upon ourselves, which means to take the responsibility. Take it upon oneself. Yourself, okay, yeah. She's saying that we take the responsibility for controlling our portion size.
It's just not good, not healthy, and we should kind of take it upon ourselves to control that. And this kind of leads on to my next point, which is a country like Korea is a much more collectivist society and much less individualistic. You naturally tend to care more what other people will think of you and your actions. Obviously, collectivist society has its good sides and obviously its bad sides too. So I don't want to get too much into that. But yeah, I guess we do care about how we present ourselves to others. And there are just more certain rules that we follow that is just seemed appropriate, and just letting yourself go to the point where you have health issues and stuff that is not seen as appropriate or acceptable. So that's another reason. You guys know I own my own online store, nalvashop.com. This is an issue that I frequently have. A lot of the Korean clothes that I source, especially for things like tops, usually comes as one size, because most Korean women are of a similar slim, small build. This one size will fit the majority of the population. So there is a certain kind of weight expectation, and once you go beyond that, if you can't fit into the Korean one size clothing, then most Korean women will think like, okay, now it's time for me to cut back and watch what I'm eating. And
cut back from the context, I think you can probably understand, but it means to reduce something, reduce your food consumption, reduce your spending, similar to cut down. After Christmas, I'm going to have to cut back on my general food consumption and my alcohol consumption. I'm going to cut back in January.
And do more exercise. And lookism. Most people in the world, when they view it.
Lookism? Never heard this word before. Okay, it exists. Interesting. Discrimination or prejudice based on a person's physical appearance. So I discover new words here watching YouTube videos. So even for me as a native. Cool. Lookism.
An attractive person, they will automatically also assume that that person is intelligent, capable, successful, sociable, good personality. They associate all these things when they see a good looking person, and this happens in all countries. Apparently it's just like a thing that humans do. This is why K-pop idols are adored also. Not that they're not talented and successful and all that, but because also their looks help. That's why in Hollywood, actors and actresses are beautiful people.
The point I made earlier is I'm not interested in K-pop. Maybe I'm also being a lookist. Maybe I'm basing my opinion on the music. Well, yes, I am. I'm basing my opinion on how they look, yes, but it's also, I've been exposed to lots of manufactured music in my life, and it's never been something that has been interesting for me. So I'm not the target audience of this music, and there are certain clues. Yes, being lookist, I suppose, but clues that tell me this is not for you, Derek.
It's literally part of their job to look good. So they can also appear to be all these things, and it helps them make more money. And basically Koreans telling each other, oh, you're kind of letting yourself go.
To let yourself go is used for when somebody gets, maybe they don't care anymore and they don't care about their appearance or their health. So they get maybe fat, or maybe they don't wash. They let themselves go. It's like they've just said, I'm not going to care about these things anymore. I'm going to just live my life, don't care about health, don't care about my looks.
It helps them make more money. And basically Koreans telling each other, oh, you're kind of letting yourself go, is much less taboo compared to other countries. Obviously, it depends on how you deliver this information. Just pointing at someone and laughing and being like, haha, you're fat, you're a piggy. That's like the dumbest way you can kind of deliver that message to someone. All that's going to do is just hurt them. But if you're genuinely looking out for a friend and they're saying, I don't feel comfortable or confident in myself these days, then as a friend, you can say, hey, I think you can also do this diet plan. You can go to the gym. You can start doing this. Telling each other this kind of things is much less taboo. And
yeah, I don't know how I feel about that. It would take some getting used to. It would take some getting used to. It would take some time to become comfortable with that situation, to become accustomed to that, because we can't say anything about appearance or weight unless it's very close friends. I think male to male communication, we can be a little bit more open about these things. I think it's a good thing and a bad thing that we don't talk about these things openly. Probably mostly a good thing. I just think we maybe need a healthier association in the UK, certainly with food and health, because I think we've got some imbalance there. That's why we have such problems with obesity.
Most Koreans are uncomfortable with the idea of being overweight, and they don't consider something to be proud of. And since Korea is such a hustle culture, there's an emphasis on hard work, discipline, delaying gratifications, delaying the pleasures until a later point where you can enjoy it properly. So because there is such an importance placed on hard work and discipline, people also view looking after your diet and working out as an important part
Makes
of
sense.
someone's character as well. Also, just not sugarcoating the fact that it can get
Sugarcoating, and I love this word. To sugarcoat something is to cover a difficult thing or bad thing with sugar to make it look nicer. I mean, I'm trying to think of the context. So she's saying that people in Korea don't sugarcoat their comments. They just say, you're overweight, you need to look after yourself. It's coming from a place of care, I think, but this would be received very badly in most Western countries. To cover with sugar, to make something difficult or distasteful appear more acceptable. Like sugarcoat the bad news, exactly.
as well. Also, just not sugarcoating the fact that it can get very toxic sometimes because it gets taken a lot overboard. But generally in Korea, laziness
Gets taken overboard, it means it goes too far, it's too exaggerated, it's to go overboard. Literally, it's from it's a nautical term from boats. So you're on a boat and you go overboard, you fall into the water. But to go overboard with a comment means you went too far. That's too harsh. That's too disrespectful. It's too something. It's excessively something. Could be too soft, too hard, too loud. Go overboard. Could be also an action, not just speech. You went overboard when you ate. I don't know. You ate 10 pies. One was enough. You went overboard. This is not me admitting to anything. This is just an example. Okay, the first example that came to my mind. This has never happened.
is kind of a cultural taboo, and there is much more of a hustle culture here that kind of leads.
Hustle. Yeah, talking of hustle cultures, I think America is quite a hustle culture, and it is you're very active in work, you're very active in study, you're very active in pushing yourself because you want to achieve success. It's a hustle. It's also to do something quick, rapidly, aggressively, energetic. Could be a legal activity. The main meaning here, I think, is 2 and 3 here, to proceed or work rapidly.
Leads into everything. Also, because people work so much, I would say aside from water, the drink that is most consumed other than water is probably coffee, and especially black iced Americano. That is probably the #1 drink sold in Korea, maybe apart from like soju. But other than that, black coffee, and the amount of calories in an iced Americano is 15 calories, which is basically nothing. Whereas compared to if you drink a vanilla latte, let's say, on average 290 calories, around there.
On average is the usual the expression, but she could say an average amount, an average number. So she's making a noun phrase there. You could say an average number, but if we're just saying average with no noun after, on average, they have 300 calories.
A latte, let's say, on average 290 calories, around there. So basically, if you drink Americanos, people can carry on working without worrying about, have I overconsumed my calories today?
Carry on means continue. This is more common than the word continue. Continue is slightly more formal. Carry on is probably the most common word in spoken English. So you carry on.
Basically, if you drink Americanos, people can carry on working without worrying about, have I overconsumed my calories today? I think in terms of weight management, not drinking your calories is a big thing. I remember I went into a 7-Eleven when I was in LA, and I was shocked at the soda station. The plastic cups, basically like half this. People were drinking not even like 0-calorie sodas, but like full fat, full sugar sodas as big as my head. And I was shocked. Also, Korean mukbangers are huge on YouTube, but I know a lot of them do so much to compensate for the fact that they're doing those mukbangs. Either they spit it out, or that's like the only meal they've eaten in like 3 days, or they exercise like 8 hours a day. Korean mukbangers are not the norm. Most people do not eat like that. I personally eat 2 meals a day. I'm at the gym basically every day unless there's a reason I can't go. For me, I work out because I genuinely enjoy it. But
to work out, this is very useful for to do exercise. We don't say do sport or play sport unless we're talking about a particular sport like football, tennis. Generally it's do exercise, and especially if you go to a gym, you work out. So if you go to a gym, usually you've got weights, you work out. So that's what she does, she works out.
Every day unless there's a reason I can't go. For me, I work out because I genuinely enjoy it. But also, this is another thing. I think the Korean fitness industry has grown so much over the past few years compared to when I was like a teenager. It was much less prominent. Body profiles is a trend in Korea that really boosted the fitness industry thing. A body profile, by the way, in case any of you don't.
By the way, BTW, if you're writing online or you're reading anything online or in any kind of abbreviated situation, so maybe in a work email, a colleague could send you BTW, by the way.
No, it's like a photo shoot that you just organize, that you pay for. You get into like the most cut, most defined, lean shape.
To be cut, this is a relatively modern term that means that if you go to the gym, if you work out, it's usually when you're reducing weight and so you can see all the muscles, you can see definition in your body. So you've lost a lot of, maybe you've lost any extra fat. So it's describing this point when you're most lean, you're most slim, you're most thin, but maybe with some muscle, and so you can really see the definition. So that's to be cut.
Of your life. It's not just about looking thin, but you have to look muscular and lean. So you have to be on a very strict diet. You have to micromanage your macros. And the purpose of this is just for, I guess, your self-satisfaction. The fact that you can say, oh, I've done this, I worked really hard for this. And then you can also look back on it when you're old and wrinkly and be like, hey.
Old and wrinkly. Wrinkle is usually it's like a fold in the skin. So I'm getting to an age where I'm going to have more wrinkles. So there's wrinkles here on my forehead. So old and wrinkly means you have a lot of wrinkles, as old people do. Kind of like, I always think they look like pastry.
There was a time in my life in my 20s when I looked this good. So people do it for this reason. But also, if you're living in Seoul, you genuinely don't need to have a car. The public transport is probably one of the best systems in the world. It's cheap, it's convenient, it's clean, it has Wi-Fi, it's air conditioned. Also in New York, people use public transport, but I know in basically other parts of America, it's much more of a car culture. And obviously when you're driving in a car most of the time for your commutes, unless you're actually carving out time to go to the gym and do some exercise, you're not actually moving your body much at all. And here's another statistic. The world's most and least active countries. And this is a study done by Stanford University. And Korea's up in the top 4 in terms of how many active steps.
Wait a minute. The UK is in 5th position. I'm amazed by that. I'm absolutely amazed. Oh, do you know what? I can tell you why. Because a lot of people, there's this fashion for doing your 10,000 steps. And there's been a lot of promotion to do your 10,000 steps, which for me is like an hour and a half of walking. So I think a lot of people have this in their mind. So they're looking for opportunities to go and walk or do things. So yeah, that's probably a recent cultural thing. But I'm amazed by that. Well done, UK, we're doing something.
done by Stanford University. And Korea is up in the top 4 in terms of how many active steps you take throughout the day. I think that has a large part to do with the public transport because you're constantly walking up and down stairs. And I think 10,000 steps per day is what's meant to be like the best optimal for health. So walking is a big part in most Koreans' daily routines. Korea is also very hilly. There's a lot of mountains.
Hilly with a lot of hills. A place with a lot of hills is hilly.
People go hiking a lot. And some parts of like Itaewon, some neighborhoods are really hilly and steep. So
Steep is the inclination of a hill. So a hill can be very steep like this, less steep, not particularly steep. So it's talking about the inclination or the angle. So steep is a very, very sharp angle.
even just walking around those areas can be a workout. But I'm not gonna lie, I would just...
A workout, now she's using a noun, a workout. Earlier she used the phrasal verb to work out, and they mean the same thing. So you do a workout, you work out.
Say probably one of the biggest things as to what keeps Koreans slim is just the pressure and the fact that just simply fat acceptance is not acceptable. Diet programs, diet supplements, diet foods are being advertised to you all the time. Weird face massagers that are meant to make your face slim. But one other thing I should say also, I find it a lot more easier to kind of...
So do that again. So this is again, very native thing to do, a lot more easier. The more is redundant. We use the easier is the comparative. We don't need more. It's a lot easier to eat clean, but natives do this as well.
Eat clean or be on a diet in Korea compared to the UK. I can find a lot of diet substitutes. I've eaten stuff like konjac popcorn, which is like very filling, but it's not high in calories.
Filling makes you feel full. You don't need to eat after eating something that is filling because you're full. I'm a sucker. I'm very vulnerable. I'm a sucker for something. She will eat 0 calories. She will drink 0 calories sodas. If she sees one, she'll probably buy it. She's susceptible, vulnerable to these things.
I'm also a sucker for 0-calorie sodas. Sparkling water, that's like flavored. I love those. I do like things like donuts and pastries, but I definitely do not eat them on a daily basis. Ultimately, if we're just talking about what makes you gain weight or lose weight, what matters is not necessarily what you eat. Like there are people in Korea who eat a lot of junk food, but ultimately what is important is your daily overall calorie consumption. I could be eating just McDonald's hamburgers a day, but if I kept to a certain calorie number, I could just be either maintaining my weight or like losing even. I probably won't look as muscly or toned, but if I kept to that calorie consumption every day, then I definitely won't be gaining weight. At the end of
muscly, when you have lots of muscles. Toned is similar to cut, so it means that you can see the definition when you're toned.
the day, it's the number of calories that determines whether you're going to lose or gain weight. That's simply it. So if you want to lose some weight, what you have to do is eat less calories and burn more. That's why Koreans, and I'm sure the same goes for Japanese people, we are slimmer than the rest of the world simply because we consume less calories. That's it. I know Korea can be very extreme and toxic as well. I'm not denying that at all. I thought that this would make a good video topic because many people do ask me about it. So let me know your thoughts down below. Thank you for watching and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!
Well, I enjoyed that video. I don't know. I hope you enjoyed it. Did I successfully achieve my goal? Basic class, a video class on one word, skinny. Give me your feedback. Write your comments. See you next time.